Good morning, all of you. I am Dr. Pradeep Kumar, working as Assistant Professor in St. Peter's Engineering College, Autonomous, Hyderabad. In the previous class, we have been discussed about the introduction of the batteries. Okay, introduction of the batteries, and we have also learned about the what are the primary batteries, what are the secondary batteries, isn't it? In the primary battery, we have taken the example of lithium primary battery. We have seen the working principle and construction of the lithium battery. Okay, and we have also discussed about the advantages, disadvantages, uses, isn't it? In this session, we are going to learn about the secondary batteries. Okay, in this session, we are going to learn about the secondary batteries. Secondary batteries. What are the secondary batteries? We have already learned in the introduction class. Okay, in the previous introduction class, we have learned about the primary batteries, secondary batteries, isn't it? What are the secondary batteries? Secondary batteries is nothing but the chargeable batteries. Chargeable batteries. Isn't it? We can use these batteries again and again. If it is discharged totally, then we will recharge and again we will use, isn't it? In this process we will use so many times. It is a rechargeable battery. Secondary batteries are rechargeable batteries. Okay, in these secondary batteries, in your syllabus you have two examples. The first one is a lead acid storage battery. Lead acid storage battery, or we can say lead acid storage cell. And the second one is, in your syllabus you have one more example of secondary battery, that is lithium ion battery. Okay, or cell. In your syllabus you have two examples of secondary battery. The first one is lead acid storage battery or cell, and the second one is lithium ion battery or cell. Okay, now we will discuss about the construction and working principle and advantages, disadvantages and uses of these two batteries. Okay, one by one we will see in detail information about these two batteries. Okay, in the first battery is lead acid storage battery. Battery is lead acid storage battery. Okay, we are going to learn about the lead acid storage battery in detail. Okay, generally these lead acid storage batteries we can use in the automobile field. Usually we are using these lead acid storage type batteries in automobile field. That means these type of batteries we are using in the vehicles like cars, buses, trucks. This battery, first point is, it is widely used in the automobile field. And this lead acid storage battery regularly we are using a 12 volts current, 12 volts lead acid storage batteries. 12 volts lead acid storage batteries we are using regularly. Okay, that means in this lead acid storage battery actually we are having 6 cells. Yeah, we already discussed the batteries is nothing but a series of arrangement of 2 or more cells is known as batteries. In these 12 volts lead acid storage batteries, actually we have 6 cells. 6 cells, total 6 cells, which can arrange it in the series manner. Here we are arranged these 6 cells. Each cell can provide 2 volts of electricity. Each cell can provide 2 volts of electricity. So that means total how many volts? We have 6 cells. So 6 into 2 volts is equals to 12 volts. So regularly we are using lead acid storage batteries of 12 volts. 12 volts of lead acid storage batteries generally we are using in the vehicles. Okay. Yeah, this lead acid storage battery actually it operates in both the way, that is it operates, this battery of this cell can operate both the way, that is as voltaic cell and as well as electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell. This lead acid storage battery cell operates in both the way, that is it can act as voltaic cell as well as it acts as electrolytic cell. When the battery is in usage, that means when we consuming the energy or current from that battery, isn't it? When we are using the energy from that battery, that is known as discharging. That is known as discharging. Okay. During this discharging, actually this lead acid storage cell or battery can operate voltaic cell, isn't it? During the discharging process is nothing but the consuming of the energy from the battery, where the battery is in usage, isn't it? Where the battery is in usage, then that is known as the process is discharging. During this discharging, actually this lead acid storage cell operates as voltaic cell. Okay, and during charging or recharging, you can say recharging. During recharging, that means when we usage of the power from the battery, if it is totally finished from the battery, then we need to charge the battery, isn't it? We need to charge the battery. That process is known as recharging process. When recharging the battery, this battery acts as a electrolytic cell. Okay, here the lead acid storage battery can operate both the way, voltaic cell as well as electrolytic cell. Is it clear? So what is voltaic cell, what is electrolytic cell? During the discharging process, that means when we are using the power when we are consuming the power from the battery, that is known as discharging process. During the discharging process, the cell operates as voltaic cell, and during the recharging process, the cell acts as electrolytic cell. Here in the voltaic cell, what happens? The supplying of energy, electricity or current, isn't it? Supplying of electricity. When it operates as electrolytic cell, that means the energy gaining process can take place here, isn't it? Energy gaining process from the external source. Energy gaining process takes place from the external source. Is it clear? Yeah. Generally, these lead acid storage batteries are used in the automobile field. That means in the vehicles, especially cars and buses, trucks, isn't it? And generally we are using 12 volts lead acid storage batteries, which connects with the 6 cells in the battery. Each cell can provide 2 volts of the current. Each cell can provide 2 volts of the power or electricity. 6 into 2 volts, it gives 12 volts. Is it clear? Yeah. While we are operating the lead acid storage batteries, it can act as voltaic cell as well as electrolytic cell. It can operate like voltaic cell and electrolytic cell. Yeah. During this discharging process, here the cell operates like voltaic cell. That means the supplying of electricity from the battery, isn't it? And during the recharging process, here the cell operates as electrolytic cell. That means energy gaining process, isn't it? Yeah, this is the brief information about the lead acid storage batteries. This is the brief information about the lead acid storage batteries. Yeah. As we discussed that it having the 12 volts electricity, which is connected with 6 cells, isn't it? Each cell can give 2 volts, isn't it? So here we have total 6 cells in the lead acid storage batteries. These 6 cells is connected as alternatively. 6 cells connected in the series manner. Okay. Yeah. These cells actually having each cell is having lead plate anode, electrode and lead oxide plate cathode and electrode, and here we have diluted H2SO4 or aqueous H2SO4, 38% concentration. 38% of concentration. This diluted H2SO4 acts as electrolytic solution. Is it clear? In the lead acid storage cell, each cell containing one lead plate anode electrode and one lead oxide plate cathode electrode and aqueous or diluted H2SO4 as an electrolytic solution. Each cell is having these three main components. Okay, here how many lead plates are there total? Each cell is having one lead plate, so here we have 6 cells, so that's why here we have 6 lead plates. 6 lead plates and also 6 lead oxide plates. Is it clear? Here we have total 6 lead plates, 6 lead oxide plates. Here we are using lead plates as an anode electrode and lead oxide plates as an cathode. The diluted H2SO4 is acting as an electrolyte solution. Okay, this is the components having the cell. Yeah, we'll see how the structure, how the diagram of the lead acid storage battery is there. Okay, we will see how the electrodes can arrange in the lead acid storage batteries. We need to draw 6 lead oxide, 6 lead electrodes plates in the alternative manner. If you see here, this is lead anode plate. Adjacent we need to place lead oxide cathode electrode. Okay, then again adjacent we have lead electrode and again we have adjacent lead oxide. The shaded one is the lead oxide electrode. Okay, again we have a lead plate, again we have a lead oxide electrode, again we have a lead plate. Like this we need to draw. Okay, again we have a total, we have 6 lead electrode plates and 6 lead oxide electrode plates, isn't it? Each cell can provide 2 volts. So 6 into 2, 12 volts. Total capacity of the lead acid storage battery is 6. Is it clear? 12 volts. Okay. Now this is the arrangement of the electrodes present in the lead acid storage batteries. Okay, here these total, all the setup of the electrode are immersed in the or dipped in the diluted H2SO4 solution, which can act as electrolytic solution, isn't it? If you take these, you need to connect these electrodes here. So like this we need to. So first you just connect the lead electrode plates. Okay. Here we need to connect like this, and again here we need to connect the lead oxide electrode plates, which acts as cathode, isn't it? Which acts as cathode. We need to connect like this. isn't it? Like this we need to draw the image. Okay, like this we need to draw the image of the lead acid storage battery. Okay, in this way we will connect. Actually these lead electrode plates here having the acts as anode, that is negatively charged, and these lead oxide plates act as positively charged cathode. Okay, now this is the simple arrangement of the electrodes in the lead acid storage battery. Okay, this total setup will immersed in the diluted H2SO4 solution, which is having 38% of the concentration. This is the setup. Here in this battery, actually we have mainly three components. These unshaded one are lead plates, which acts as anode. These shaded electrodes are lead oxide plates, which acts as cathode. And here we have diluted H2SO4 solution as an electrolytic solution. It acts as electrolytic solution, which is having 38%. Okay, concentration of the H2SO4 here 38%. Now this is the image or diagram related to the lead acid storage battery. Okay, all the electrodes are separated by the insulators like rubber, or it may be thin wood, it may be glass. Okay, glass fiber we are using to separate all those electrode plates here. Okay, this is the simple construction diagram related to the lead acid storage batteries. In the lead acid storage batteries we have total, in the 12 volts lead acid storage battery we have total 6 anodic plates, that is lead plates, 6 cathodic plates, that is lead oxide plate. Each cell is having one electrode, one anode electrode and one cathode electrode. So here we have total 6 cells. Each cell can give 2 volts of the electricity. So we can obtain the 12 volts of energy from this lead acid storage battery. Is it clear, all of you? Yeah. Next we will check the working principle of the lead acid storage battery, and also we will check about the advantages, disadvantages and uses. Okay, you just draw the diagram. Okay, yeah. And now we will check about the working principle of the lead acid storage battery. Working principle of the lead acid storage battery. And next we will check about the working principle. How it works. Okay, working principle of the lead acid storage battery. Mainly in this working principle we have 2 modes. The first one is discharging mode of battery, and second one is recharging process. recharging battery. These two modes we have in the working principle of the lead acid storage battery. Yeah. In the discharging manner, in the discharging mode, if you check the reactions related to the discharging mode, the discharging is nothing but the battery or power consuming from the battery. The power or electricity consuming from the battery is known as discharging mode. In the discharging mode, actually we have the reactions at anode. If you check the reactions at anode, we already know that at anode always oxidation can take place. Here, what are the anodes in the lead acid storage battery? Lead plates, isn't it? Lead plates acting as anode, lead oxide plates are acting as cathode. So at anode, what we have? Lead we have lead, isn't it? So at anode, here always oxidation can take place. That means loss of electrons. So that from the lead, isn't it? From the lead, there loss of 2 electrons can take place and forms the lead 2 plus ions. Okay, lead can convert it into lead 2 plus cations by releasing 2 electrons. By loss of 2 electrons, lead 2 plus cations can form. Then these lead 2 plus cations, can interact with the SO4 2 minus, which are coming from the sulfuric acid. Okay, from the sulfuric acid we will get 2H plus and H2 SO4 minus 2, isn't it? How the H2SO4 can decompose? Dissociate. It can dissociate like 2H plus SO4 2 minus, isn't it? So these SO4 2 minus can react with the lead 2 plus ions and form lead sulfate. Is it clear? Lead sulfate. Where? At the anode electrode. At the anode electrode, we will have the lead sulfate. Is it clear? And at cathode, what are the reactions at the cathodic electrode? At the cathode, always the reduction can take place. Here, what are the cathode here? Cathodes, what are the material we are using in the lead acid storage batteries? Lead oxide plates, isn't it? So at cathode, lead oxide, we have the lead oxide. These lead oxides can react with these 2 electrons, isn't it, which are released by the lead anode. These lead oxide can interact with these 2 electrons, and here also involving 4 H plus ions, 4 H plus ions. These H plus ions can comes from the H2SO4. Okay, yeah. Then and forms lead 2 plus 2H2O. Okay, yeah, this is the reaction at the cathode. Lead oxide can take 2 electrons and 2 H plus ions and forms lead 2 plus cations and water molecule. Okay, these lead 2 plus ions again interact with the SO4 2 minus ions and forms lead sulfate. Again, lead sulfate. This lead sulfate also formed at the cathode electrode, isn't it? This lead sulfate deposited at the anode electrode. This lead sulfate deposited at the cathode electrode. Now if you check, what is the net reaction here? Now what is the net reaction we have here? If if you take net reaction from these anodic reactions and cathodic reactions, if you see this lead plus 2 and lead plus 2 can get cancelled, and these two electrons get cancelled, isn't it? This lead 2 plus, this lead 2 plus get cancelled, and remaining is the net reaction. Net reaction of the discharging mode. Here we have lead plus, here we have lead oxide, isn't it? Plus we have 4 H plus ions and 2 SO4 minus 2 ions. That means 2 H2SO4. 2 H2SO4, and here what we have, 2 moles of lead sulfate plus what we have, 2 water molecules. This is the total net reaction of the lead acid storage battery during the discharge mode. Okay, during the discharge mode. Here we have recharging process also. And the second process is recharging process. In the recharging process is nothing but quite opposite to the discharging mode. Okay, the reactions can reverse as the discharging mode is known as recharging mode. Okay, now we'll see those reactions also. We'll check those reactions also. In the discharging mode, what happens? There lead plates converted into lead sulfate, and lead oxide plates also converted into lead sulfate, which are deposited at the anode and cathode respectively. That means there will be deactivation of lead plates as well as lead oxide plates takes place. In addition to that, there we are using H2SO4 also, isn't it? In the discharging mode, there will be usage of H2SO4 acid, isn't it? So what happens here? Finally, slowly the concentration of the H2SO4 will be decreased. In the discharging mode, slowly concentration of the H2SO4 will be decreased. Initially, it is having 1.30 gram per cubic centimeter of the density. Initially, the H2SO4 density. It is initially, okay, but when it is decreased to the 1.20 gram per cubic centimeter, then that means we need to recharge the battery. Okay, continuously if we using the battery, what happens? The concentration of the H2SO4 also will decrease. The density will be decreased to 1.30 to 1.20 gram per cubic centimeter. That indicates the recharge is need for the battery, isn't it? The battery needs recharging, isn't it? Yeah. So then we will check the recharging process also. Okay, so we need to check the recharging process. In the recharging mode, here we have recharging mode process. Recharging mode nothing but by the recharging, here we are going to activate the lead plates as well as lead oxide plates, and increasing the concentration of the H2SO4. This is the process of the recharging mode. Is it clear? Yeah. In the recharging mode, what are the reactions is there? If you see, first we need to activate the lead metal at anode. Then lead oxide metal plates or metal plates at cathode, isn't it? In the recharging mode, actually here we have the lead sulfate contains 2 electrons and forms lead as well as SO4 2 minus at cathode. Okay, here the taking of the electron, the gaining of the electron is reduction, which can occur at cathode. And lead sulfate can interact with the water molecule and forms lead oxide plus 4H plus SO4 2 minus is anode. This reaction can take place at anode. Okay, lead sulfate reacting with water molecule and forms lead oxide 4H plus ions SO4 2 minus anode at anode. Okay, this is the oxidation, this is the reduction process. And if you check the net reaction, now here we are losing the 2 electrons also. Here we are losing the 2 electrons also. So if you check the net reaction, here these 2 electrons get cancelled, and here we have remaining 2 moles of lead sulfate plus 2 H2O gives rise to forms lead plus lead oxide plus 2 moles of SO4 2 minus is there and 4H plus is there, which is nothing but 2 moles of H2SO4. This is the recharging process. In the recharging process, we are going to activate lead metal and lead oxide, and also here we are regenerating the concentration of the H2SO4. This is the recharging mode, the reactions at during the recharging mode. Okay, yeah. Next we'll check about the advantages of the lead acid storage battery. What are the advantages are there? Advantages of the lithium acid storage battery. It is easy made. Okay, we can easily make this battery, easy made battery, and high current. It gives high current, that is 12 volts. Okay, it gives high current, it gives 12 volts, and also self discharging rate is low compared to other batteries. Self discharging rate is also low compared to other batteries, isn't it? And this lead acid storage battery also it works the various temperature ranges. It can work in the different ranges of the temperature. It can work in the low temperatures as well as high temperatures, and the cost is low. Compared to other batteries. These are the advantages of the lithium acid storage battery. Here it is easy made one and highly high current can give, that means 12 volts current, and self discharging rate is very low compared to other batteries, and it works in various temperatures range. Okay, and the cost of the battery also low compared to other batteries. Okay, these are the advantages of the lithium acid storage batteries, and we have some disadvantages also. Disadvantages of the lithium acid storage battery. Here the recycling process is quite hazardous. The recycling of the components of the lithium acid storage battery is hazardous. Why? Because in this battery we are using acid, isn't it? The concentrated the sulfuric acid is there, isn't it? So this is a hazardous one. And one more disadvantage is there, that is in the battery, if we have the mechanical strains and normal bumpings, okay, strains in the batteries or the bumping of the acid, these disadvantages also we have in the lead acid storage batteries. Okay, and coming to the uses, where we can use this type of batteries, lead acid storage batteries. As we talked in the previous introduction, that is in the field of automobiles, that is we can use these lead acid storage batteries in the cars, buses, trucks. In addition to that, we can use in the railways, mines and hospitals and telephone exchanges, isn't it? We have so many wide range of applications of lead acid storage batteries here. Okay, yeah, these are the uses of the lead acid storage batteries. Yeah, in this session we have learned about the secondary battery, one of the example of the secondary battery, that is lead acid storage battery. Okay, we have seen the construction of the lead acid storage battery and working principle of the lead acid storage battery, and advantages, disadvantages, and also uses. Okay, yeah, in the coming lecture we will discuss about the next example of the secondary battery, that is lithium ion batteries. Okay, yeah, we'll see.